The news this week that Suncor oil refinery will close for a few months for repairs is letting people who live nearby literally breathe easier. Families in North Denver and Commerce City have been saying for years that Colorado's air pollution rules do not do enough to protect them. The EPA is now looking at this as a potential civil rights issue in Denver. Here's Anusha Roy.
For her entire life, Lucy Molina has lived in the shadow of Suncor.
Since I was a child, really.
The health issues are still plaguing her even during this interview.
So it's been a 1 week that I've been trying to fight this migraine. It's normal that we have cancer. It's normal that we get asthma.
It's why fighting for better air quality has become all-consuming.
Well, yeah, this has become my life.
So when the EPA announced it will be doing a civil rights compliance review, especially focused on the state's permitting and air emission regulations,
Brown, Black, and Indigenous communities, as well as low-income communities, which is this community.
Molina had this to say.
There's so many promises that have not been fulfilled. Holding polluters and corporations accountable for not only current but also past violations.
We're always interested in finding ways to improve in this work.
Tricia Oath with the State Health Department said the EPA told them about this review in spring, and she welcomes it. The feds talked with families in North Denver and surrounding areas to figure out what they should focus on. That list includes taking a look at if the state is reaching enough people in enough different languages and reaching people living with disabilities.
Title VI of the Civil Rights Act is about ensuring that anybody who's using federal funds doesn't have any of their programs intentionally or even unintentionally, implemented in a way that could have a disparate impact on communities of color.
Molina said one of the things not working for her are contradictions.
On one side, we are fighting environmental justice.
And then on the other hand, she watches new fracking wells approved.
Anybody that's going to operate here in Colorado, that it's the most protective it can be.
When it comes to what's looming over Molina's neighborhood, the state said they've changed how they issue permits for Suncor to be much more conscious of the community impact. So we didn't hear back from Suncor today, but the EPA letter that's been circulating this week is interesting because on the one hand, it's actually applauding Colorado, saying it's a leader, recognizing that the state passed the Environmental Justice Act, but then also said it does these periodic compliance reviews, and that's a critical role in addressing historical and systemic barriers. They're hoping at the end of all of this, the State Health Department will serve as a national example. So it's very much a collaboration that's happening right now.
So a nod to the progress that's been made, the changes that have already been implemented.
Yeah, but everybody says, a lot more can be done. So one of the things the state is doing is monitoring more for oil and gas leaks, way more in communities that are impacted by pollution and disproportionately impacted. They're also making sure they're sharing this information in plain language and in multiple languages because they realize what a barrier that was. And like you were talking about, Kyle, that Suncor is temporarily shut down right now because of that equipment damage. The state did say that they're looking very closely at what happens to the air quality without those emissions and taking that data and then studying it.
Yeah, we're about to find out what it means for Colorado to not have an oil refinery in terms of clean air and gas prices.
Exactly.
Yep, Anusha, thank you.